Julia, how does it feel to be married now? Are you very happy to be married to my very important Hunter? Good morning, Josie. Of course, I'm so happy to be married to him now. I'm sure you don't need to be asking me something like that. Really? Well, isn't that wonderful to hear from you? I just wanted to make sure was all. Now, what about the real you? How does it feel to finally have found your host whom you can leech money from now? What? What do you mean by that? I really didn't want to have to say it like that, but I'm very aware that my family and yours are both on totally different levels from each other. It's almost like the relationship you have with my son shouldn't even be possible. In the past, a relationship like the one you have with Hunter wouldn't have been acceptable. I'm sorry to cut your little speech short, but my family is not as poor as you might want to believe. And like you've said, the times have changed and we don't care about what level people are on anymore like that. Wow! Are you trying to say that I'm stuck in the past or something now? Excuse me? I didn't say anything like that just then. What are you trying to say? I know that you probably have something against me, and that's why you're talking about me that way. Does it not hurt you to talk about an old woman in that kind of way? Let's stop things right there, Josie. What are you going on about right now? What did I say to you that you're so upset over? I was just agreeing with you about how times have changed and that people these days don't have the same views as they did in the past. Oh, I see. So what you're really trying to say now is that I'm the one misinterpreting things? I'm sure you're wanting to call me some stuck-in-the-past old hag right about now, right? What? I'm telling you that none of what I was saying meant anything close to that. I have once again had to deal with you calling me names and you breaking my heart. But that's all right. All I have to do is continue putting up with it and everything will be fine. Come on now, Josie, will you please just listen to me? I wasn't saying anything that was meant to be taken as hurtful towards you. Not one bit was any of what I said meant to make you upset. Is that right? By the way, your present from me for your wedding should be coming in the mail. What? Okay, thank you. The present will be for me? That's right, it's meant for you, Julia. I'll also be coming over to pick up Hunter for dinner before we head back to my place. We happen to have a meeting with the rest of my family to be at. Am I supposed to be coming to that meeting as well? Do you feel as though you're a part of my family when you've only been married to my son for 1 month? I think you're a bit too early there. Give it a bit more time, and I might start to consider you as something more. That's what I thought you'd say. It's not like we've had a wedding yet, so I haven't been able to meet the rest of Hunter's family in person. Although I'd kind of appreciate it if he were to introduce me to the rest of the family. I'm not sure that day will ever be coming for you, though. Huh? Tomorrow you'll be home all day long, right? Make sure you're there to get the present I've had sent to you, please. Understood. I'll make sure to listen closely for the doorbell.
Julia, have you been talking poorly to my mom again? I think it's getting close to time that you quit talking like that to her and be a good daughter-in-law. My mom is really sad right now over the things you've said to her.
She's the one who's sad? Why is she sad? I never said anything mean to her at all yesterday. What did she tell you I said?
She never went into detail about all you said to her, but it's rare for my mom to be so sad like she is now. I had really thought you, of all people, would want to become closer with my mom, instead of trying to push her away like that. I just can't believe it, Julia! Do you not like the idea of her being your mother-in-law now or something?
Hey, are you being serious about all this right now? You're just going to accept all that your mom has told you and turn against me like that without listening to what I have to say? I never once said anything mean to her yesterday, okay? I was just talking with her about how she felt about me being a part of the family now, but she seemed to not be so happy about me. If anything, I'm a bit sad about all of that.
Don't make things look like they're all her fault now. She's my mom, all right?
And I am very well aware of that, Hunter. But this isn't about me blaming her or anything. I just want you to listen to my side of the story so that you can better understand what went down between us. Can you please do that for me?
Julia, you stop it right now and calm down. How about you start being more kind to those that are much older than you?
So you don't care to listen to anything I have to say then? When we are back together, let's you and I have a proper chat about all of this. I have a lot to say about things myself now. Have the steaks made it to your place yet? That's your wedding present. $1,000 worth of very nice grass-fed steaks. Make sure to eat all of that by yourself, okay? I'm not eating any of this. What? I've already gone and thrown all of that steak out. You're lying, right? So you didn't eat any of it instead throwing it all out like that? You went and threw out the present that I was giving you to celebrate your wedding when it comes around? I sure did. What the hell was with that, Josie? You thought I'd actually eat steaks that were in as bad of a state as those were? Did you actually throw $1,000 worth of steaks in the trash? I did. None of it was worth trying to eat anymore because they were all rotten and covered in mold. Please do not ever send me something like those ever again, Josie. I understand that you don't like me at all, but that right there was just dangerous and caused me a whole lot of headache. I am shocked by what you've done. And the fact that you'd say that present was some kind of message of my hate towards you. Do you really hate me that much that you'd go and say that about me? What? So you're telling me none of that was done as a way of showing me how much you hate me? Are you listening to me, Josie?
Hey, I want you to stop all of that right now! This time you've gone and made my mom cry by what you did and said! What the hell do you think you're doing?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm just trying to keep myself from becoming food poisoned. That meat that your mom sent to me was all rotted and covered in black mold. So I went and put it all straight into the trash can.
Huh? You threw that all away? That was a present from my mom for our wedding worth $1,000, you idiot! You're going to tell me you didn't even bother trying some of that steak before throwing it in the trash?
Hold on now, Hunter. I don't even think that steak was worth $500 when added up.
You're the worst, Julia! Go and apologize to my mom right now for all of that!
I can see you really enjoy being that upset with me so one-sidedly. But are you even going to bother listening to anything I have to say today?
My mom has been nothing but kind to you, and this is how you're going to treat her? Why do you think it's okay for you to act that way?
I understand that she's doing a pretty good job faking the person she really is with you. She's good at faking herself to everyone, actually.
You are just terrible! The worst wife I've ever seen! If you're not going to go and apologize to her right now, then we're done here! I am not going to forgive you!
How about you listen to me first? I will tell you all you need to know about the truth surrounding her.
I know the truth, and it's not looking good for you. My mom was doing her very best to show you her kindness by sending all that high-quality meat, and you threw it all away! My mom is the best woman in the world, and yet you treat her like garbage!
Did you even stop to have a look at what was inside those boxes?
What?
You never took a look inside those boxes, did you? You're at work right now, so of course you wouldn't have been able to see what kind of present she sent me. Yet right now you are acting all one-sided with me, like I'm already the problem here, even though you haven't seen what's happened for yourself.
I guess I haven't been home to have a look inside what she sent you. But she would never send you anything crazy besides the meat she said she sent, right?
That's what you'd want to think. And that's why you can't find it in your heart to trust your very own wife. All you want to hear is what your mom is telling you, like the mama's boy you really are. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth about her, the harsh truth. That meat that she sent me was all spoiled, completely rotten. It was mostly covered in mold with little maggots wriggling around in them. Also, some of the pieces were covered in jalapeno, which I'm allergic to.
What? Are you sure?
There is no way I'd be able to eat any of that meat, right? I'm sure you wouldn't either if you'd seen it. The moment I opened the box, I could just tell everything was spoiled by the way it smelled like roadkill. And that's when I knew this was yet another one of her attempts to show me just how much she hates me. Your mom has been taking everything the two of us talk about and making it out to seem like I'm the one who's bullying her. That's why she's always coming to you crying about it in hopes that you'll want to punish me or leave me.
You're kidding, right? Why would my mom of all people be doing things like that? She has no reason to be doing that to you.
Your mom happens to hate me a whole lot more than you could ever imagine. That's why she's trying her dang hardest to get the two of us to separate.
My mom would actually want that, though? But she's always going on about how much she loves you to me!
She is just putting on a performance in order to make you think she's been up to nothing this whole time. Her goal is to make herself look as though she's not had any part in making you start to hate me. Remember how before you and I got married, she always seemed like she hated the idea of us being a married couple?
I thought she was always supporting you becoming my wife!
And to put it straight, she was only doing that in order to keep you on her side. All in order so that you would never be able to notice how much she truly despised me for who knows what reasons. But if you could see that what's really going on, you'd see that nothing she's been saying to you about her feelings is true, especially when it comes to me.
What? So she's just been putting on a face for me this whole time?
Haven't you ever noticed that there are times a jab at me will slip through? Like how sometimes she might suggest you getting married to someone else, or how things might be different for you if you were with so-and-so? I'm sure you have, but have been kind enough to point out that I'm the right woman for you, and that I'm younger than you, so your mom should be happy with the woman you married. I'm sure you never see what she's saying at those points in time as being jabs at me, but they are. You just seem to think that she means nothing by it at all, and move on.
Wait a minute. Everything I'm hearing from you is a little hard for me to understand. How was any of that a jab at you?
To be honest, it doesn't really matter if you understand or not. Just be aware that your mom really does hate me, and she's made that very clear to me. And for a little while, she's been doing her best to get you to start hating me too.
She's really been wanting for the two of us to get a divorce that badly? Why would she want that of her own son?
I'm not sure the reason why myself. But from everything I've had to endure from her so far, she really does not want me around her family at all. Really, it's like I'm trying to battle a beast at times when talking to her.
I cannot believe this. The fact that my own mom has been thinking of us that way.
I'm sure it really is hard to believe, considering that this is your first time hearing about it. Once you get home today, I'll show you everything. All the proof.
Do you have that much proof, though?
How about you just come home and find out for yourself? I'd much rather you see for yourself what she's been up to instead of complaining about me from your office chair.
But I already told my mom that I'd be going to her house after work.
Right there. That's her trying to get to you first in order to play with your head before you can see what I have to share.
What do you mean?
Well, if you get home even later in the day after she's gone and lied to you about what really happened, the meat will have gone bad and you'll be believing everything she said for sure. Right? Then I'll have no way to get you to see the truth clearly and we'll be stuck having the two of you hating me even more. It's all a part of her plans, Hunter.
I see. I would have never thought this was something she'd been up to.
Today, I want you to come back here first and see the proof, and then you can go over to your mom's house.
All right. I guess I have no other choice but to do that now.
Please do that. I'll make sure I have all the proof ready for you to see. Josie, do you really enjoy doing things like that to me? Really enjoy doing what? Are you going to try hurting me even more than you've already done? You really are a scary woman for sure. What did I ever do to deserve all of this from you? Well, you've been doing all of this bullying to me in order to get your son and I to divorce, right? I have zero clue what you're trying to get at there. That steak you sent me in the mail today, it was all spoiled and disgusting. There's no way any of that meat was spoiled. Would you please stop trying to make me out as such a horrible mother-in-law? I really want to know what kind of nerve you have throwing out all that steak I sent to you as a present today. Today, I'm going to have Hunter stay the night at my house. I wouldn't want him having to sleep in the same house as a witch like you. You might silence him or something. That's totally fine. Huh? It's fine that he stay here with me tonight? I'll let you have him sleep over at your house however long you'd like. He and I have separated now, so there's no point in him staying at this house anymore. What did you say? Just like you'd said to me earlier. He and I are not on the same level and shouldn't be in a relationship at all. It was only natural that the two of us break up, so we're done here, right? You're going to stop harassing me now, right? You've both finally broken up? Well, it's all for the best when it comes to you two. Although I really only care that my son makes it out okay. I couldn't care less what ends up happening to you now. Now Hunter will finally be able to go out into the world and find true happiness for himself. So does this now mean you'll confess all the horrible things you've said and done to me? I was never doing anything mean to you. Well, because of you, we were able to choose to get a divorce. Really, you've hated me all this time, right? He and I are done with, so you can come out and tell me the truth about how you felt this whole time. Well, you have a good point there. It wasn't that I ever hated you, Julia, but rather that I've hated you so much that I wish you'd just die. I knew that was the case this whole time. Not only did you come out of nowhere one day and take my little Hunter away from me for so long, but you did so all with the intention of being a parasite. I had no reason to ever like a woman like you. But finally, Hunter came around to realizing that divorcing you was the right choice. All of that hard work I'd been putting in behind the scenes has finally ended with my desired effect. All that hard work you put in, huh? So you're saying that pretty much all that crap you said and did to me was on purpose? All in order to get the two of us to divorce and never talk to one another again, right? Well, of course it was all for that. This whole time, ever since you both got married, I've been wanting your eyesore of a butt out of my son's life. Then you knew that the meat was spoiled before sending it to me, right? You also were the one to put jalapeno all over some of them. Was all of that really even worth $1,000 to you? Of course it wasn't. I just took the old box left over from the expensive butcher I'd ordered my meats from and put some weak old cuts of meat in there that I bought at the supermarket before sending the box to you. I made sure that while I had the meat sitting out in the sun, to sprinkle jalapeno all over them as well. I'm sure you were surprised by all of that, right? Oh, I sure was surprised. Surprised by the lengths you were going to in order to show your hate for me. Josie, had I actually cooked up and eaten one of those steaks, what would have happened then? Well, my Hunter is very smart, so he would have never eaten any of that. But just to be on the safe side, I made sure that today he'd be eating dinner at my house. As long as he's safe and healthy, I don't care what you end up doing.
That is totally screwed up, Mom!
What?
It's me, Mom. Hunter!
Huh? What the... Hunter? Weren't you on your way over to my house for the night? I thought you were going to come straight home to me right after you got out of work.
That was my plan as well. But then I found out about how you and Julia had been talking to one another again today. I wanted to see for myself if what Julia was telling me about that present you sent her was true. So I went home before I planned on coming to see you. From the looks of it, that meat that Julia ended up throwing away was all spoiled and looked like the bark on a tree with all that mold. Now you tell me what the hell is going on here between you two. I think I've come to the conclusion that I can't trust you as my mom anymore.
You have it wrong, Hunter. This is all a misunderstanding on your end. I never meant for any of this to happen. Julia's just been setting me up in order to make me look like the problem here. But Hunter, you've already went ahead and chosen to divorce her, right? I think you can go right ahead and just give up on her now. You understand there's no point in talking to her anymore, right?
The only thing I've come to understand now is that you're a monster, Mom!
What? I'm the monster? Why am I the monster?
No matter how I try and look at it now, you're the only monster among us. This whole time, you have been harassing her and then lying about it to me to make me start getting mad with her as well. I'm shocked by this, Mom! I can't trust you anymore!
I'm telling you, you're wrong about that. You have a total misunderstanding of the situation right now.
I'm going to have a talk with Dad about all of this. I'll give Julia her smartphone back now. But you promised me to stop all that crap you've been giving her from now on. She's the most important thing to me.
Wait a second, what happened to the two of you getting a divorce? Hello, Josie. This is Julia again. I think after everything I've done to show Hunter the real you, he's come back to understanding the truth. He now understands who the true liar has been. Are you kidding me, Julia? You deceived me like that. Set me up. You lied to me about how you'd both be getting divorced, also that I would come out with the truth. I sure did bait you into all this. I had to make sure that you really did hate me that much and were the real bully in all of this. Hunter was able to find out the truth as well, and I'd say this all turned out perfectly for us. Turned out perfectly for who? Are you messing with me? You hurry up and divorce my Hunter. You are not a part of my family and never will be. I'm glad to hear nothing but the truth coming from you. And don't worry, because I have no plans of coming near you again. Just like you've been wanting, we will not be family. But Hunter has come around to learning he was in the wrong this whole time by believing what you'd say. And from now on, he will be on my side when it comes to family drama. What? Are you trying to say he's going with you? You're going to steal my Hunter away from me for good? I'm not stealing something that you tossed away, am I? He's moving on with his life around me, and in order to do so, he needs to cut ties to you. I know this whole time you've been trying to push me out of your family for good. But what you've really gone and done is push yourself out, leaving you with nobody. Now, Josie, have a good one, please. I hope that while you're burning in hell, you get time to munch on some spoiled and moldy steaks. After what he'd learned about his mom, Hunter went ahead and gave up on her food for good and cut her out of his life. All of this also led to her husband getting fed up with her, and the love they once had went cold. This then forced him into wanting a divorce, and as of right now, they're on their way to becoming complete strangers again. I've heard that when Josie first heard from her husband that he wanted to divorce her, she screamed and cried for him to take all of that back. But there really is no way for her to prove that she was worth being married to still, when she went to such great lengths to hurt both her daughter-in-law and her own son like she'd been doing. Josie really tried so hard to get Hunter and I to get a divorce, but all she ended up doing was hurting herself by forcing her husband to want to divorce her. In terms of myself and Hunter, all of this led to us actually becoming even closer to one another as husband and wife. Hunter started to see that his distrust in me at first around his mom was a huge problem. And as of right now, we both go to couples therapy where he learns to listen to me more and communicate how he feels about situations. All in all, with the harassment that I had to endure after getting married to him, I have to say I thank his mom for being a complete and utter monster, as it's made for a great learning point for Hunter and I. You know, I never knew this about you before, but it so happens that you're 10 years older than me? So we can both agree that that makes you a super grandma now, right? Milani, that's not really the way you should be starting a conversation with me. The fact that I ran into you earlier today really shocked me. I had assumed you'd be a bit younger than you actually are. This means you're 7 years older than your brother, right? That's insane to me. Milani, what are you trying to say about me here? What? You're scaring me by asking what my true intentions are that way. Are you a little upset with me right now? Perhaps a little bit jealous? Jealous? Jealous of someone like you? Why would I ever be jealous of you, Milani? What do you have right now that I don't? Oh, please don't get that upset about the fact that I'm younger than you are and I'm about to get married. I'm sure that someday someone as unfortunate as you will be blessed with something great. I'm really not sure what all of this is about. I still don't understand why you think I'd be jealous of you, especially when I barely even know who you are. Besides that you're dating my little brother. Again, with this trying to act all tough about things when you're really screaming on the inside. I know that deep inside you're really wanting to get married right now, right? I'm sure that every single day you're thinking about it, craving it even. Aubrey, you're 40 years old now, and yet you're still single? There's no way that could be possible for a woman without some very good reasoning behind it. I'm not 40 years old. I happen to be 37, thank you very much. And right now, I happen to be more focused on my career than anything else in my life. The fact that you're even saying that leads me to believe you're never going to find yourself a man to make your husband. I feel so bad for stuck-up broads like you. I am so happy that I was blessed with never having to end up like you, making such a lame excuse as that. Could you please stop talking about me with such a terrible tone? You and I are going to become family very soon here, and I think it's best that we both begin to act nice around one another. So let's both set whatever it is we have against one another aside and make some steps towards being good sisters, so to speak. I honestly have no idea what you keep rambling on about there. This must be what people mean by older women always mumbling to themselves. And you are being so rude to me right now that I'm not quite sure what to even say back to you. By the way, you plan on coming to our wedding as well, right? What? I guess I do. It is my little brother's wedding after all, so I plan on being there. What do you suppose people will think when they see the groom's older sister, who happens to be 10 years older than myself, showing up at the wedding? What do you mean by that? I don't think anyone is going to care about that at all. Do you? I feel that Vincent might be very embarrassed by that, by his old hag of a sister showing up at his wedding. Well, you can stop thinking about how he or any of the other guests there might feel about it. Nobody is the kind of rude pile of trash that you happen to be. Especially my little brother. I understand what you're trying to get at here, though. It's pretty obvious to me that you really don't like anything about myself, and you want to trick me into thinking everyone thinks the same way. But you're not going to trick me any, because I know better than to bother with losers like you. And as for coming to the wedding, I'll be there. I'm the groom's older sister, after all, and there is nothing that's going to stop me. Now, you can look forward to the lack of reactions from any of the guests to my appearance on the day of. It's gross that you think of yourself so highly. I really hope you think twice about coming, Aubrey. You might regret showing up there if you do end up coming. I believe it's only going to be you regretting anything if you keep that nasty attitude going around me. Your girlfriend, or well, I guess I should say fiancé, it doesn't seem that she's too fond of me being your big sister. Have you told her anything about what I do for a career?
I haven't said a thing yet. And why do you think she's not too fond of you? I didn't notice anything going on between the two of you when you both met earlier, so was there really something going on there? Did I miss something? Could it be because you didn't have a lot of makeup on?
I was kind of hoping that she would notice something about me then, especially considering she plays instruments herself. Are you certain that Milani actually plays anything or even knows much about music to begin with?
Well, she told me that she really loves playing different things, especially the piano. But...
Are you doubting her as well?
Well, it's not that I'm doubting what she said or anything. I shouldn't be doubting the person I plan to marry, right? It's just that ever since she graduated from that music school, she's been dreaming of becoming a piano teacher. So, as her soon-to-be husband, I have to support her on that.
So you don't doubt her, yet there's something up with her? Well, I guess at the wedding I can just ask her in person about what's going on with her. I'd like to know what school she ended up graduating from as well, things like that.
I really don't want to get caught in the middle of any of that. So you can go ahead and talk to her about it whenever I'm not around. And I'll try my best to keep what you do as a career a secret from her for the time being. I have to consider her pride in all this after all.
Well, as long as not telling her doesn't lead to any trouble, then it's probably the best thing to do. All right, the next time I get the chance, I'll talk with her about her situation. I happen to be planning to put on a fun little performance for the wedding, so I was wondering if I could get your help with it. I hope you're really looking forward to helping me out. I get that you hate me for some reason or another, but you would never use my help as a way of making things between you and I worse, right? By, let's say, bullying me in front of everyone. I think since today is the day of your wedding, we should both just put our hands down and be relaxed with one another. No way. Did I ever say that I hate you, Aubrey? I just feel really sorry for such an old hag not having a husband or a future for herself yet. I'm not sure how you can give me all that crap just then, but say you don't hate me at all. I'm getting the feeling that you're going to try to embarrass me or something, so could you please just tell me the truth about your plan? And if you're still not willing to tell me, how about you just knock all that off and save it for later? Yeah. It's almost going to be your turn, so make sure you're ready for it and do your best. Excuse me? When I'm finished, I would like for you to play the piano. What? The piano? You didn't hear about any of this from Vincent? I happen to have graduated from a music academy, and I am very skilled in all sorts of instruments. I heard about that, But what does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm planning on becoming a piano teacher myself soon. And the reason for that is because I have a lot of confidence in my skill playing the piano. Is that right? And when it comes to you, you're a strong, independent old hag that can do anything for herself, right? So we'll see you play the piano today, right after I'm finished. Although I'm sure whatever you decide to try playing will be nowhere close to the actual music I'm able to produce, and everybody will get to see that. I see. So that's the game you're trying to play now? I'm pretty sure that neither myself or Vincent have ever told you about whether I can play the piano or not, right? You sure haven't told me a thing about that. But you seem to be so confident in being single in your old age, so let's see you play the piano with such confidence. And don't worry, if you can't actually play, then just tell everyone that. Or if that's too difficult for you to do with all that pride, I'll show them you can't play. I think that would be even more entertaining, don't you think? I already know that I'm levels above you, so this will be easy as cake for me. I was kind of wondering what all of this would be about. I guess you were planning on using the piano as a way to destroy the confidence I have in myself this whole time? Well, have no fear, because I'll be putting on the best performance I can. You will? Are you sure it's going to be considered your best by anyone here? I think it's better you just tell everyone how bad you are. It'll save all their ears from having to listen to the sounds of a dying cat. And another thing you should do before you get off the stage, as a little extra for me, you should thank me. Thank you for what? You should thank me for ever finding the courage to invite an old hag like you to my wedding. And you should be thankful that I'm asking for your help in this piano performance today. All right, like I said, I'll be trying my best. I can't wait to see your butt being embarrassed. Right after my beautifully performed piece, everyone is going to have to get an earful of pain from whatever crap you try to play on the piano. Oh, I'm so looking forward to the expression on your face afterwards. I have no plans of playing any crap for them. Don't worry about it. Anybody can play random keys on a piano, so you don't have to feel as though you're anything special. If you can't even do that, just signal me over and I can help show you how to sit on the bench. I'm just that kind of caring person after all. I see. Well, I'm looking forward to this performance. What the hell was that? Who do you think you are? What the hell just happened out there? I might not have mentioned this to you before, but I happen to be a professional pianist. What? A professional pianist? And not just a professional one, but a professional one that happens to be known worldwide. However, it seems that you've never heard of me before. Well, we sure showed all of your guests today the difference between your piano skills and mine when I came on stage right after you to play. And let me just say, I believe I'm the one who's levels above you. Shut the hell up! It's because of you that all of this... All of this... what? That all of this planning you had turned upside down? That every single one of your guests applauded me today and I became the star of your wedding? And because of that, you threw a fit and tried to hit me with the wedding cake, but instead you missed me, causing you to fall and land on said cake? And since you did that, your face, hair, dress, pretty much everything about you is all gross and a complete mess. And now the wedding is canceled? Tell me, which one of these things were you trying to blame me for? Screw you, you old hag! I'm blaming you for all of it! It's all your fault that all of that happened to me! The only reason the wedding has been canceled is because my brother had enough of your crap. But I really don't blame him for wanting to cancel the wedding. I mean, look at what you tried to do to his older sister. I'm sure it was hard for you to try and get him to think of you any other way after what all you'd done. Why is all of this happening right now? This is all completely strange. All I wanted was to have the best day of my life today at my wedding, and this is how things turned out? I'm not kidding when I say that everything that went wrong today was because of you. Really? And explain to me why it's all my fault. All I did today was what you asked for. You said you wanted to help with your piano performance, and so that's what I did. I walked on stage after you finished your piece and then I played mine. You were the one that told me to play the piano, right? And I thought you wouldn't be able to play it. I just assumed you were some overconfident hag that needed to be taught a frickin' lesson. Yet you happen to be some world-famous pianist? How the hell could that be the frickin' case right now? This is completely screwed up. Well, I'm sorry, but the truth is I'm a dang good pianist. And now that you know the full truth about who I am, I'd like to ask you a question. A question? You want to ask me a question? Did you really graduate from a music school? An academy, like you were saying before? Huh? Milani, I was a little doubtful about you before all of this, but if you really did graduate from a music school, which one was it? What kind, actually? Was it a public school or a private school? From what your mom was talking about a little bit ago, you happened to graduate from a public school. But where you're from, there is no public schooling for music. Not even any universities that offer music majors or minors. Am I missing something here? I never said I went somewhere near my hometown. Anywhere will do, right? And where I went to school has nothing to do with an old hag like you. But according to what I was told by Vincent, you didn't do well in school, did you? So could you please just tell me what school you went to so that I can stop asking you? Shut the frickin' hell up already! What the hell do you plan to do if I do tell you where I went? Why do you have to ask me questions like this when I've already been humiliated enough? Does it really frickin' matter to you that much where I went to school for music? Well, I suppose to myself it doesn't really matter. But had you really gone to school for music, especially for piano, it's a bit odd that you would have never heard about who I am there. What? What are you talking about now? Well, I am known for my music and skills worldwide, right? Yeah, you already said that to me. So what? Do you think I'm just supposed to know about every single person that's played the piano once I've graduated from school? Well, after hearing the performance I put on just then, you should have been well aware of who I am. But since you didn't seem to recognize me from that song alone, that must mean you're an amateur. However, as an amateur, you probably couldn't really tell what song I was playing or if it was any good or not. Are you really trying to say that I suck at playing the piano now? Well, from what I heard today out of you, it's not far off from me to say that you probably should just give up on playing. Do you understand that? There is no way my sister-in-law should be a pianist. Just no way. I never even heard from a single person before today that you'd even played the piano before. How come not a single soul told me about such important information before when I myself play the piano? Not even Vincent told me anything about you. And the reason for that is simple. Because you brag all the time about how you graduated from a music school. And you think that someday you'll open your own school and become a piano teacher. I had assumed with all that confidence in yourself and that dream, you would have known about me from just my name alone. Well, I don't care about you famous people. But even if you don't care about me enough to know my name, you should still be able to know my music. You're not a pianist, Milani, even if you think you can play the piano. Your timing on the keys was sloppy, and the notes you played were off by very large margins. Shut the actual hell up already, okay? Why the hell didn't you tell me any of this before I went out there? All you had to say to me was that you're a pianist. Well, I kind of forgot to say anything to you while you were running your mouth that whole time. Sorry? But honestly, nobody, including myself, wanted to tell you who I was because your pride would have been soiled. Vincent is a really kind soul, so he managed to play along with you so that you wouldn't get upset. But as for myself, I knew from the moment you started talking to me about the piano that you knew nothing. Huh? You knew I was lying? Wait, lying? I haven't been lying about anything. What kind of lie do you think I've been telling? I know that you want to say you graduated from a music school, but by just saying you graduated from one won't help you start a school. And even if you do find a way to start your own school, it will be open for only a short period of time because soon people will begin to realize you lied and will probably try and sue you over it. Do you understand what I'm saying? What? Sue? Sue me? Why would anyone want to sue me? Are you serious? You know why people would want to sue you over something like that. plenty of families have their reasoning for wanting their children to learn an instrument from an early age. And plenty of those families want to send their kids to someone they can trust and keep around for a long time. If you start getting people that believe your lies to come to your classes, what do you think will happen when they realize they just paid a lot of money for a phony? Do you really think they're going to continue believing that you're a pro and that what you're teaching them is right? The music you played for everyone today is nothing compared to what someone who graduated from a music school can play. I'm telling you. I never thought that I'd be harassed this badly. You're a freaking old hag and are annoying as hell. I don't want to hear another word from your mouth about the things I do. Is that what you want? Then go ahead and do as you please. But don't expect any more support from Vincent on any of that. Huh? What do you mean by that now? Vincent has lost every bit of love he had for you today. Vincent has? There's no way in hell he stopped loving me. The way you acted today really embarrassed him as a man trying to marry you. You really did it today by acting like a spoiled little brat. Everyone's mouths were wide open after seeing what all you tried to do. Throwing your wedding cake at me, all because you couldn't handle the fact that I'm better at playing the piano than you? Do you have any idea just how embarrassed you made him feel today? It's because of everything you tried to do today that things ended up poorly for yourself. That's because you messed with me. Had you hit me in the face with that cake today, you would be facing a much harsher punishment than you already are. People would have really seen the kind of monster you are on the inside then. But I've already been punished more than enough today. I'm just as embarrassed as Vincent is, and for no good reason. I wasn't even thinking that I'd have to resort to throwing a cake in your face today. I was just hoping that when everyone heard you try to play the piano after my performance... You're jealous, aren't you? That's sad, coming from someone who was calling me jealous a while back. I have nothing else to talk to you about. Honestly, I don't even want to be around someone as toxic as you anymore. Someone who thinks it's okay to become that jealous of someone and then act like a spoiled brat when their plan to humiliate doesn't go well. If you and Vincent do still end up getting married at some point, I want you to know that I am not related to you in any way. You already know we're going to get married. Why wouldn't we? Today was my wedding day, and I know Vincent will come around to me. You may have ruined all of it for me, but that doesn't stop him and I from getting married. Back to blaming me for all of that again. Well, go ahead and keep thinking that. Not everyone on this planet was able to graduate elementary school. Have a great time dealing with Vincent later. Wait a second, Aubrey! What? I was just told by Vincent that he's put some more thought into him and I getting married. Is he being serious right now? What the hell are all of you trying to say I did today? I was just trying to be happy, nothing else. Hey now. Stop throwing a temper tantrum and listen. Were you not trying to start something with me today by bringing me out on stage and embarrassing me, all because I'm older than you and still single? I believe you were, and today showed everyone just how toxic and crazy you are. Do you understand that? Aubrey, what should I do about all of this? I thought that I'd finally be getting married today and ended up quitting my job. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now if the wedding doesn't happen and I don't get to marry Vincent. Can you please help me get back together with Vincent? Did you just manage to forget how freaking rude you've been to me all in a matter of seconds? That's kind of scary, and you might want to get that checked out. But let me tell you, you're a freaking brat, and I'm not going to help you out of your own mess. Don't say things like that about me. Aren't you and I both living in the same world together? I mean, you and I are both music artists. You should be wanting to help me because of that. Don't you dare start saying you and I are both music artists. I might be one, but all you are is a fraud who thinks they can one day scam people for their money by faking a pianist. I think the only thing left for you to do is to be real with yourself and say that you can't play the piano and should just find something else to do. Well, it's not like I'm going to be seeing you anymore after this, so who am I to say what you do next? Figure something out yourself. Goodbye forever, Milani. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to play my song to the sounds of a dying cat today, but at least you filled in for that part. In the end, Vincent told Milani that he no longer wanted to marry her, and that was the end of the relationship they had with each other. She also ended up being told by her family that she was an embarrassment to them all, and after they cut ties to her, she had no place to return home to. Milani was left losing her job, her fiancé, and her family all in a matter of days. At one point, she did go to Vincent after they broke up and told him that she never actually did graduate from any kind of music school, but that didn't get a reaction out of Vincent before he started to walk away from her for good. And I'm sure we can all understand what the reason for being silent and walking away was. You frickin' idiot. You and all that annoying talk of yours can go rot in hell. And no matter how much you try and call me, I am never going to answer you. I'm off to have some fun now, so see you in another year. Emma, the only reason I've been calling you so much is because you just took my money and ran off with it. I don't need you to answer any of my calls, but you need to come back and give me my money, please. That is not your money, right? I had that money put aside so that I can pay off some bills I have. Well, you left that money here in my house, so it becomes my money to do whatever I want with. I have no idea why you keep saying such stupid things to me right now. This is all just common sense. Common sense? What are you talking about? You haven't even been living in this house with us anymore. So you coming back into town out of nowhere like that and taking my money off the counter should be considered stealing. That is my money you have right now, so bring it back to me. Come here and hand it back to me right now, please. Don't make me call your father about this, or even worse, the police. What are you talking about? It's because of my dad that you're allowed to live in the house with him and have this money, right? And when it comes to the money that's left lying around in the house, it becomes mine. If you don't like that, then get lost. Even if I wanted to leave this place, right now isn't the best time for me. There are things going on right now here that not even you are aware of. I don't care about your reasons for not leaving because it's not my problem. Anyway, I consider myself very lucky to have come back to my house today and found some money sitting around for me. This is some extra play money for me, so I'm gonna head out shopping now. Would you stop that right now? Your play money? I told you that that is not your money. Do you have any idea what you're about to do right now by running off and spending that money? Come home right now and give that all back to me. You are acting way too far out of line right now. Shut the hell up, you old hag. You're not my freaking mother. All you are is some old broad that was allowed into this house by my dad. This isn't even your money either, but my dad's, right? Which then means I have the right to spend it on whatever I'd like, right? You have no idea what's going on right now, Emma. But you don't seem to be listening to anything, so I'll go have a word with your father now. I want that money you took from me back as soon as possible. This is my money now, so you're never getting it back, you know. If you don't like me having this money, then next time you shouldn't be leaving money on the counter like that. I really thought you had the common sense to understand that before, but it really does seem that no matter what I try and tell you, you're just not going to listen. You really are just like your father. I've had enough of this, Shane. If you're not going to leave this house and take your thieving daughter along with you, then I'm going to leave instead.
Huh? What's all this about?
You know what's going on here. Your daughter just took my money that was on the counter and ran off with it. That money was something I was going to take with me to the post office today in order to pay some last-minute bills. Both you and her act the same way and seem to do things like that all the time. Can't you see that right now you both are only making things harder for yourselves? I am not going to deal with any of this any longer. Now, your three choices here are to tell her to come back to the house and give me my money. You can tell her that you're leaving this house and neither of you will be allowed to come back, or you can go ahead and do nothing, just like you've always been doing, and I'll leave this house and you both instead.
What? That's just what kids do, Olivia. Why are you getting so upset by that?
What kids do? She is 22 years old now, Shane. She is far too old now to be acting like a 5-year-old. Do you both not see how stealing someone else's money like that is a very bad habit to have? She really took a lot after you, Shane.
You are really being an annoying witch right now. Well, whatever. If you're really going to start saying things like that about her and I, then go ahead and leave.
Really?
I'm tired of how you behave around me. And the fact that you're now talking trash about my own daughter like that is horrible. It's over between you and I for real now. Just get out of the house. And before you go, I want $30,000 from you.
Hold on now. What you just said there makes no sense to me at all. Can you explain to me why I should be giving you $30,000 before I leave this house and family for good? Aren't you aware yet that I'm going to be the one getting the settlement in all of this?
This has nothing to do with the settlement or us breaking up. This has to do with Emma getting married soon.
Is that happening? I never knew about any of this.
And there needs to be some money handed over for her wedding. So as her dad, I'd like to help her out there in making sure she has a wonderful wedding. You can understand how I'm feeling about all this right now, right? Anyway, the only issue here is I don't have any money. So as one final good deed to my daughter and I, would you help me pay for her wedding?
I did that same thing for you back when you needed help paying for her schooling. But here's the thing. Neither of you ever thanked me for all of that money I handed over for her. So why should I have to give you anything else now when I know I will be getting nothing in return for it?
I sure as hell did. Thank you.
Saying thanks is easy to do, Shane. But based off how you've been acting around me, I am far more aware that you aren't thankful. I'm not giving you any more money. But if you'd like to borrow it from me, we can make something work.
What? Are you sure?
But I'll need something in return from you, though. I expect you to pay all that borrowed money back to me at some point, so I'll be preparing some paperwork for you and I to sign. I'm going to get my money back from you this time, one way or another, so that I don't have to regret as many things as I've already had to. Hey! Why have you not come here yet? Excuse me? Come to where? What? Frickin' idiot! I get that you're in your 40s now, but you can't already be experiencing symptoms of dementia. Today is the day of my wedding, gosh dang it! What? Is that right? Wait, are you kidding? Cut that BS right now, you old hag! Would you really just cancel last minute on your one and only daughter's wedding like that? If you do that, then you're no longer my mom. Wow, this is the kind of talk I thought I'd never have to relive again. I wonder what ended up happening with you to make you speak to me like that. What are you going on about? Just shut the hell up and come here. Not having my mom here at this wedding would be very screwed up, you idiot. What do you mean by daughter? How much longer do you plan on screwing around with me like that? Cut the bullcrap right now before I get Dad involved. Canceling last minute on your daughter's wedding would land you right in hell. But it seems like that's what you want to have happen, so screw you because I'm cutting ties to you. I've never had a daughter, though. What? The person who should be asking for the other to stop screwing around here is myself. Emma, you're my ex-husband's kid that he brought along with himself when we got married. You have never been my daughter, right? Actually, I had never once thought of you as my daughter before. You're kidding, right? Huh? But weren't you raising me all that time like I was your daughter? The first couple of years I was doing my best in order to make a decent family out of you both. But having to continue to live in that house with a brat like you all that time really brought me a whole lot of stress. And even after you turned 18 and were no longer needing to stick around me in the house, you always tried to cause fights and pick on me. Honestly, I have no idea what to call all of that besides a circus between you and I. But things were like that because you and I are family, right? Well, if that's the way you'd like to think of all that, then go ahead and keep thinking that. But to me, that was not at all what a family should be like. You're saying a lot of crap to me right now, but in terms of the law, you're my mom, right? So how about you come to my dang wedding now? Come here and introduce yourself to my man's parents. At the very least, you can do something like that for me, right? Wait, what kind of law are you talking about? Your father and I split up, and you are nothing more than a stranger to me again. What? And you happen to be an awful little brat, and your dad was a terrible husband and father. I was so happy to get myself away from the both of you. Even now, I like to think that I should never have to talk to either one of you again. So tell me what the hell you're going on about now. What the heck? Are you trying to say that you both got a divorce or something? When did that happen? I was never told anything about all of that. This happened a little over 6 months ago, Emma. We've been separated for quite some time now. I really have no idea why your father wouldn't tell you anything about that, especially when it's something that has to do with you both. But that was never going to be something I had to tell you about, right? However, it wasn't like it was a secret that our relationship was going sour. What? So you both really got divorced then? That means you're no longer my mom. Yep, but let's be honest here. I was never like your mother to begin with, right? And legally, I'm nothing more than a complete stranger to the both of you now. That's why we should never have to talk to one another like this ever again after today. Having you contact me out of nowhere like this was really a surprise to me. I never had a daughter, and I was never invited to some wedding. I sent your invitation to the house, though. Of course I'd invite someone like you to my wedding. The house? Oh, I don't live in that place anymore. What? You don't even live there anymore? I told you that the divorce took place half a year ago, and at that time I left the house. I no longer had anything to do with either one of you anymore, so I was out of there. That also means I don't see any of the mail that's sent to that house for me anymore. So, is Dad living on his own now? Who knows? It's kind of a mystery of whether or not even he is living in that house anymore. He was never going to be able to pay for that house's loan since I was the one paying it off the whole time I lived there. Huh? Dad wasn't even paying off the loan on the house? How would he have been able to? He's never had a job this whole time I've been around him. What? He hasn't had a job? That's right. Unfortunately, your dad has been unemployed for a long time now. He's just like you are in a sense. All you both ever did was leech off the money I had and never thanked me for any of it. That whole marriage to him was really like an exploitation of me, really. I never knew anything about that, though. Well, there you have it, Emma. I never saw that invitation you sent to me, but it's not like I'd be going to your wedding anyway. Also, I happen to have a different last name now, so I'm not sure they would have let me into the wedding anyway. Why won't you come still? Aren't you being way too cold to me by not accepting my invitation to you? I was your only daughter, your only child ever. So can't you just come to my wedding and see me become happy? And like I've been saying, you were never like a daughter to me. Just the bratty girl my ex brought along with him. And when I say bratty, I mean you were totally off the walls when it came to how much of a nuisance you were to me. All you are now is some random woman, and I don't care to be around you. So you're just going to cancel on the wedding then? Is that not heartless to you? So you're not even listening to me. Do you even understand what the meaning of canceling last minute means? I divorced your dad half a year ago and never was able to get that invitation you sent me. I wouldn't have even planned on going to that wedding of yours anyway had I gotten the invitation. I didn't know it was even taking place today because of all that. There was also never an RSVP from me, right? So what exactly am I canceling on last minute here? I was never coming to that wedding, so there you go. So you're telling me you never felt as though you were my mom? Like I've been saying for a while now, no. I was never your mother and will continue not to be. So what are you trying to get at here? Perhaps you just wanted me around for the gifts that I might give you? I would never give you any gifts, Emma. I never said anything about wanting you here for any gifts. Let me tell you something else before I go. I would like for you to pay me that $30,000 I let you borrow for that wedding back, please. Huh? What $30,000 did you ever give me for today? I want that money back, please. Nothing else. Now get me that money and shut up about never hearing anything about this, because I know dang well you have an idea of what I'm asking for here. I don't ever remember getting even a penny from you for today, so I'm not handing you any money back. Would you like for me to get the signed papers out? What? Your dad borrowed money from me using your name. Even your signature and everything is on these papers saying you agreed with the transaction. So stop complaining and give me my money back. Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about. You just told me that my dad did all that without my consent, right? I had no idea something like that happened between you two. I never borrowed money from you. Even if you were never told anything about this, you borrowed that money from me. You really don't remember anything from that time? You signed something for your dad a long while ago. I guess there was one time I was told to sign something and I went ahead and signed that. But I didn't know that was for my dad to borrow money from you. I'm serious about that. You didn't know about that? Well, that's too bad for you. But you went ahead and signed something without ever reading it first, and now you'll have to be responsible for it. That doesn't have anything to do with me, though, as long as I get my money back. The deadline is coming up here now. What are you talking about? I can't hand you $30,000. I never even got that kind of money in the first place. After your dad got this money from me using your name on the paperwork, he went and ran off. I have no clue what he did with that money, and it's not any of my business to know. But from what he told me before the deal took place, he was going to use all that money for your wedding. Understand? Now you're going to have to pay back all of what you borrowed from me. Mom, wait, please. Huh? Don't call me your mom, you little freak. I have never been your mom, and you even agreed with me on that by never once acting as though I was your mom. You can try all you want now to reel me in as your mom, but it's not going to work. You and I are strangers after all. Calling a stranger your mom really gives me the creeps, and my skin is starting to crawl. You can't say things like that about this. After this, you're going to have to start taking care of your idiot father, all right? My dad is not some idiot like you say he is. You're just a complete witch. Weren't you the one that was part of our family for 10 years? In reality, we were only family for 8 years. Those last 2 years were just hell for me. I had to work my butt off for a jobless man that couldn't do anything for the family. He wouldn't even help with the chores or with helping you. All while having you in the house while you made fun of me and caused all sorts of trouble. Stealing my money at times as well. Those last 2 years really were the worst years of my life. Nothing is ever going to top how horribly I felt around you both then. Well, when you put it all like that, I'm sure those last few years were tough for you. I wish I would have divorced your dad a whole lot sooner than I did, to be frank. But at least things are over with now, and I don't regret a single thing about it, really. Come on, this is so hurtful to me. You really think it's okay to say things as hurtful as that about my dad and I? What now? Are you really going to start crying because you think I'm the jerk? I was the one that just lent you $30,000 a while back. And for years and years, I was the one paying for the both of you to live in that house as well as eat and have a shower. I just want my money back from this last deal we made. Is that such a bad thing? I mean, you were the one that signed those papers, so you should be more than aware of what's happening. Are you kidding me? At a time like this, though? I was going to give you a bit more time to pay me back, but then you decided to contact me today, even though I was never coming to that wedding of yours in the first place. It's your fault for thinking that I'd still come and saying that I was somehow canceling on you last minute. I really did think you'd be coming today. I mean, normally one would be coming to my wedding. Yet just as I was wanting you to come and enjoy this wedding, you're going to ask for money back? That is screwed up on so many levels. I feel like I've been stabbed in the back by you. Shut the hell up, you brat. Why are you starting to whine like you're some kind of a victim? The only victim here is myself. I'm the one that gave you both loads of money and have still not gotten anything back in return. Well, I was at least able to get some money in the divorce from your father a little while back, so that's pretty good for me. You got that divorce in order to get some money back? Well, then what's happened to the money you keep asking me to give you back? I would like to think that your father took that money and has it right now. Sucks for you then, right? Your father ended up being a lot more scheming than you thought. Wait, Mom! I really cannot pay you back that amount of money right now. So please, help me out here. I told you, you are not my frickin' daughter. I have no reason to help you out after the hell you've put me through all these years. Go find a frickin' job and make that money back for me. Goodbye now, you brain-dead brat. What the hell do you want now? I have nothing else to tell you, and unless this is about you giving me that money, I don't want to hear it. My dad just came to the wedding drunk off his butt, and after causing a scene, he got this whole wedding canceled. Ah, well, makes sense considering your father's an alcoholic. What? Are you kidding me? I'm sure your man was shocked to see your father you were so happy to have come in smelling like the bottom of a vodka bottle, right? This is not the time to be laughing. Not only is the wedding going to be canceled, but I think my marriage in general is going to be over with. What should I do right now? Do something to help me, Mom. Mom? Nice one. I really have no idea why you decided to text me again about all that. I have nothing to do with any of you besides needing that money I lent you back. You know, you could have avoided all this had you just been a bit nicer to me. But not even after paying for you to go to college did you thank me. I guess this is what you get for being such a selfish, childish little brat. I did everything I felt I could back in the day, but that never made you into anything more than a total jerk. Now you go join your dad and down a few more bottles of vodka so that you can forget what all happened today. I didn't know about you paying for me to go to school. What? If I don't get married today, what is going to happen to me? Let me come live with you. I don't want to go back with my dad. No thanks. I don't like strangers coming inside my home. Goodbye now. You have gotten on one too many of my nerves now, so I'll be blocking you. And about that money, my lawyer will be in touch. In the end, I ended up blocking Emma completely so that she would never be able to annoy me ever again. Emma soon realized this and from then on was never able to get in touch with me again, as I didn't have any other form of communication besides my number. The wedding between her and her man ended up falling apart, and having no chance of going back to live with him anymore, she went back to see her dad at the house. But when she made it home, her dad was nowhere to be found. Besides some of his clothing left scattered on the floor in the empty house he was never going to be able to pay for. It's still not known what's ended up happening to her father, but there have been many people saying things about men that have looked like him jumping off of bridges late at night. And other reports saying that they've seen him on the street looking very thin due to malnutrition. To me, however, I unfortunately think a man like him was able to find another woman who would bite, and he's taking advantage of them at the moment while completely lying to them about his past. When we come back to Emma, a few days after going back to that house, she received a call from my lawyer asking her about the $30,000 she owed me, and said that her only option of paying it off would be to take out another loan and use that to pay me back. That's not the ideal option when it comes to paying off the debt she had with me, but there was nothing else she could do, so let's hope she starts paying off the next loan she ends up with. I'm sure things are going to be very, very difficult for Emma from here on out. But this is the life she decided for herself when she chose to take after her father. I like to think this is what she deserves, and I hope she realizes that herself here soon. As for myself, I eventually did end up getting my money from Emma through another loan she had to take out and was free from her completely after that. I'm currently living in a small ranch house by myself, but now that I have some more money, I might take after Emma a little here and call this money my play money.